What's up, League of Legends players? So last time I left you guys off, I had played hundreds and hundreds of ranked games, and I had a consistent ELO of 600 ranked, or technically unranked. So this is my current profile, and as you can see, it is, boom, 1300. So I've effectively gotten myself out of the so-called ELO hell, and I am going to tell you guys how. So I've broken this video into several parts, so please, if you can, watch all the parts. And so let's get started. What's up, YouTube? So it's been a really long time since I've posted a video, so I'm just going to give you a quick overview of stuff before I get started. And man, do I have a lot to talk about, since it's been so many months and so much has happened. So for those of you who are new, this game is called League of Legends, and before we begin, I'm just going to give a quick overview on the ELO system for League of Legends. So basically, once you hit level 30 for League of Legends, you get to play this thing called ranked games. They're pretty much the same thing as normals, give or take, plus the draft mode at the beginning, but they give a rating depending on every time you lose or win. So you start off at 1250. That's the ELO that everyone starts off at, and from there you go up and down depending on if you win or lose games. So 1250 is actually the top 25%, because most people who play ranked consistently, they do not stay at 1250. They immediately drop down to around 800, which is around the top 50% range. So anyhow, it's been such a long time. Last time I left you guys off, I told you guys that I would be climbing the ladder. And for those of you who are new, I'm just going to give you a quick story about everything that's gone down since I started my channel. So first off, just a quick overview on what's happened. I started my channel around last summer, and from there I began ranked games. And basically what happened is I played around 50 ranked games, and my ELO immediately dropped. It started at 1250 like everyone, and it dropped all the way down to around 800, maybe 900. And I was so devastated. It was just loss after loss after loss, and I kept playing ranked, and I kept losing and losing, and my score, my ELO would just drop. Looking back, I realize now that it had a lot to do with skill, or lack thereof, I should say, and also it had to do with statistics, because 1250, the starting ELO, is actually the top 25%, give or take, which is what Riot has it set to. It's if you breach 1250, you're considered bronze, which is the top 25%. So I was statistically supposed to drop, and I dropped around all the way down to around 800, which is still top 50% of all players, which is still pretty good. But a lot of people complain that I'm already in ELO hell, and this is the point that most people stop dropping. Around 800ish, because this is the middle. This is the top of the bell curve. This is where most people reside. 800, 900 ELO. And this is where people complain of ELO hell. ELO hell is the concept that people believe that they think that they should be in higher ELO, but they can't climb themselves out of that current ELO because all their teammates are completely bad, and they keep dragging themselves down. So an example would be if you were, say, Cassidon, and you had a score of 10 kills and 0 deaths. You would technically be destroying the enemy team. However, your teammates are doing terribly. Say 0-4, 0-5 kill death ratio, 0-7 kill death ratio, etc. So essentially, a person who's proposing that ELO hell exists is saying that the only reason that they're down here is because they keep getting bad players and their teammates are the ones who are losing the games for them, even though they are highly more skilled than the rest of the team and the opponents. However, I've explained in previous videos that this does not statistically actually work because your opponents have a higher chance of getting a bad player than you, because if you're a good player, that's 5 out of 5 for your opponents of getting a bad player and 4 out of 5 for you. So if you play more and more games, you should statistically get out of ELO hell over time, which has been proven, and there are a lot of explanations and guides online and statistics online to prove that. So enough about that. That's the first thing I want to talk about. Also, this gameplay is actually my current ranked gameplay, and it's actually something I played about 10-20 minutes ago. So this is my most recent ELO game. So before I continue, I just want to say that there are also a bunch of people I've seen who are low ELO who have definitely proven that ELO hell can be carried out of easily. For example, I have this 1600 friend. 1600's a ranking ELO for those of you who are new. I have a 1600 friend. He has a Smurf account. A Smurf is like a secondary account he uses. And he Q dodged. Q dodging means leaving the queue before game starts, which causes you to lose ELO. He Q dodged so that his ELO would drop all the way down to around 800. So basically what he did was he Q dodged down to 800, and then he played ranked games. I dueled with him a few times as well. More than a few times. And I've seen almost all of his games at ELO of 800 or whatever ELO. He carried them. He would consistently get scores of around 10 deaths, 10 kills and 0 deaths. So he would constantly win out his games, and he would constantly win. Like his win-loss ratio is like 2-1 or 3-1, which is insane. So he definitely proved that you can carry yourself out of ELO hell. If you look at his match history, it's all wins. He'll have like 1 loss per 6 or 7 games at that ELO. So he did it twice. He Q dodged all the way down to around 700 or 600, maybe 800-ish. I'm thinking around 800, and basically he won almost all his ranked games and carried himself all the way back up to 1300. And then he Q dodged down again to around 800 and did the exact same thing. And he rarely lost his games. He would play mid lane Anivia most of the time, but when things didn't work out, where he was forced to go bot lane or top lane or jungle, he would play those and he would still carry the team. I remember him being like 21 with Riven and 22 with Kog'Maw. So honestly, it's definitely a skill thing. And right now he's just got lazy on his Smurf and he hasn't played as much, but he recently played a few 1300 level games he with his Smurf account, because that's the ELO he got to from 800, 1300 or 1400, I can't remember. I think it was 1400. And he still won those consistently well. So that proves that you can definitely carry yourself out of ELO hell. It's definitely a skill thing. Most people complain that it's their opponents, but honestly, if you're skilled enough, you can definitely carry yourself out. He usually gets like massively good scores, like 21 or 10-1 kill death ratio. So that definitely proves that it's a skill based game most of the time. Once you get to the higher ELO, it's more about team playing, but for your intents and purposes, if you're below 1250, you should be looking at your skill. There's definitely some things you're doing wrong. So yeah, that's that. So back to my story. I dropped to 800 and I was just terrified. So from there I created this YouTube channel, and basically it was the start of my winter break from school, and I told you guys that my goal was to get out of the so-called ELO hell and get back up to my goal, which was to be bronze, because once you breach 1250, you will be ranked, supposedly, as in you will have a ranking. Otherwise, your ranking doesn't show. If you're below 1250, your ranking doesn't show, and you don't get a ranking at all on your profile. So my goal is just to be ranked and to actually have a rank, which was actually pretty hard because it's you have to be top 25% of the ranked player population to be in the 1250 range. So that was my goal, and I started making YouTube videos to pretty much achieve this goal. So basically, what happened was I kept losing, and I fell down to 800 from my initial rating of 1250 as the first time I started ranked. From my very first ranked game, I remember it was a loss. And then I won a couple, got to like 1290, and I was so happy. And then from there, it was just straight losses all the way down to 800. So actually, this gameplay is coming to an end, so I'm going to cut it off here and continue in part 2. So stay tuned.
At your service. Charge! I bring justice.